Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your source for the finest two-way propaganda brought to you by TNVC.com. Today I want to tell you about why the U.S. Postal Service might have been spying on you. Because they want to, that's why. Recently released FOIA docs indicate the Postal Inspector's Office used a mass surveillance tool called Internet Covert Operations Program, or absolute disregard for the Fourth Amendment for short, to spy on gun rights activists. I mean, we've always known the government was spying on us, and for a couple of years we've known postal inspectors use ICOP to spy on social media posts. But the Washington Times recently obtained a heavily redacted FOIA request proving they intentionally targeted the Virginia Citizens Defense League. The government is still tight-lipped about basically everything. They didn't even bother paying lip service to claims about why they are still spying either. That not even so much as a trumped up story about Glock switches from Wish or something. This is literally the federal government with bipartisan congressional support wholesale spying on U.S. citizens for obviously political reasons and daring anyone to stop them. On the off chance that sort of thing ruffles your feathers and you'd like to give someone a piece of your mind, you can reach both your senators and your representative at 202-224-3121. Tell them to tell the Postal Inspector Service to stop using ICOP to punish people for their political views. The Department of Justice is still obstinately clinging to the official line that jazz cabbage makes people too dangerous and unstable to own a gun, even when they're not actually under the influence. DOJ lawyers unironically argued in court recently that a medical cannabis patient could lock up a gun safely, smoke a left-handed cigarette, then go crazy, get the gun out, and do something awful. Now, I, for one, couldn't agree more. The devil's lettuce leads to all sorts of poor behavior. I mean, it may start with Funyuns and Mountain Dew. Funyuns. But the next thing you know, they're doing the Lindy Hop and the Charleston, and the girls are wearing skirts above their knees, and your penny farthing gets a flat from all the pot needles on the sidewalk on your way to the five and dime just to get a tincture of cocaine. Now, let's be clear, no one ever tried to say it's a good idea to handle guns while under the influence of any substance, or for that matter, that weed has no effect on judgment. Of course it does. But as foolish as it would be to handle guns while drunk, stoned, or high on Percocet, it's generally accepted that a person isn't banned from even owning guns just because they could get drunk and then do something stupid with a gun. Nevertheless, the DOJ is arguing medical marijuana patients are so uniquely deranged in comparisons with users of alcohol or prescription drugs, they can't even have possession of a firearm when they are not under the influence. At least it's a step forward from the DOJ's previous assertion that it's okay to deprive medical marijuana users of their gun rights because the government deprived Catholics and Native Americans of their gun rights too. And it just makes it all okay, doesn't it? Uncle Naughty Hands gave a speech to a teachers union where he reminisced about hitting on a 12-year-old and claimed bullets coming out of an AR-15 are moving at 5 times the velocity of most weapons. Just for the record, 223 projectiles are normally in the neighborhood of about 3,000 feet per second, depending on bullet weight and barrel length, of course.
Let me do the math here.
3,000 feet per second divided by 5 is 600 feet per second. In case you're not a gun nerd like me, that's half the velocity of 9 milli, which Stranger Danger says can blow a whole ass lung out the outside of your body. There really isn't any commonly available cartridge anywhere close to that slow. Once again, though, I think it's only fair to judge our commander-in-chief in the context of his time. You know, like the founding fathers and other people born around the same time as Biden. I'm sure back in his day, obscure French pinfire revolvers could be referred to as most weapons within the small circle of landed gentry he associated with. The Firearm Policy Coalition continues to uphold its reputation as a giga-chad with a recent injunction against Delaware's Spooky Boy ban. U.S. District Court Judge Mary Ellen Noreika wrote in her opinion, "The right to keep and bear arms would be meaningless if no individual or entity could manufacture a firearm. Thus, if possessing untraceable firearms is protected by the Second Amendment, then so too is manufacturing them." Of course, this decision has no bearing whatsoever on the ATF's final rule. It only affects Delaware specifically, but it affirms the right to manufacture and possess untraceable firearms for personal use. Hey, did y'all hear about the couple who found a whole bunch of M-16 rifles in a transit case they bought at auction? They purchased a lot of 108 containers, which were supposed to be empty, in a government surplus auction. They had planned to sell them individually on eBay, but when they received delivery, a friend who had helped them move the cases found one of them was chock full of rifles. Naturally, they immediately notified the ATF they were in possession of 12 machine guns, and they didn't know what to do. Which is exactly what I would tell the ATF if I found 24 M16 rifles. The ATF searched the remaining crates and found no more loot. Now, I think it's kind of a shame to see people waste a legendary loot drop like that, but what do you think? What would you do? Firebird Prince tweeted they were rated by the ATF for the Invader Brace design, which F-Troop claims is a stock because it doesn't have a strap. Mind you, this is for a 3D printed object, not something shipped across state lines, and it's intended to help the disabled. It's also very similar to a flex brace and is clearly useful in its intended application. Stay safe out there, friends. And now, your moment of Zen.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Hey friend, do you like pews and pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure and good American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free $99? We literally couldn't make this show if it weren't for the generous support of TNVC.com, purveyors of the finest non-GMO night vision devices, handcrafted from fine Corinthian leather in the old world style. They also have mounts, lights, training, and all sorts of other sustainably sourced free-range gear to make you the bump in the night. And remember, if you aren't subscribed to our channel, you make puppies cry and Captain America's disappointed. I love you.